Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn. Good afternoon, Quad Cities. Thursday, January 28th, 2021. Just a few days away from putting our first month of 2021 in the books, in the past, if you will. I'm in the studio here with Coral. T-Roy is on his way up to the Wisconsin Dells for some family time. We took yesterday off. I was supposed to do some family time. I was going to go skiing.
Oh, yeah. Did you even end up doing that?
No. We had just other things that were planned that kind of just went along that the kids had to take care of. So really the whole day was to have off Wednesday was to take them to go over to Snowstar and go skiing. We were going to learn how to snowboard. I've never snowboarded.
I've never skied or snowboarded.
Well, and so the kids were kind of like, they didn't know which way they wanted to go with it. And I was like, well, let's do snowboarding because I have never done it. Mm-hmm. And that way we can all learn together, take a lesson. And they were like, well, skiing. And I said, I feel like I can teach and coach just about anything. And I racked my brain, and I don't know who taught me how to. Well, I know the first person I went skiing with, so I guess he taught me. But it just came natural. I can't. Yeah. There's no way I can teach it or coach it either. And nor do I want to sit through a lesson.
I've done water skiing.
I can do that too.
And there was a lot of tears involved.
Really?
And bruises, and I probably swallowed like over a gallon of lake water.
Gross.
And then I finally just said I quit. Like I could get up, but then I would bend my arms and fall immediately.
That automatically gives me a headache just thinking about lake water, how much you take in and whatever else.
Well, and then my stepdad's yelling at me like, stop bending your arms. I'm like, it's literally my instinct to bend my arms.
I never could... what's the word I'm looking for? Slalom. I couldn't drop a ski.
Yeah.
But I've done water skiing, knee boarding, all that stuff. And the crazy thing is though, I can do all of it, but
yeah,
I have a fear of things that live in the water.
Really?
Oh yeah, I hate it.
It doesn't really bother me.
It freaks me out. And that's how egotistical I am, though. I feel like everything that's living in the water wants to come up.
It all just wants to come get Jay Foster.
Exactly. So I have a fear of things. So when that happens, when I get tossed off a water skis or tube or whatever else, like I immediately start swimming as fast as Michael Phelps towards the boat because I'm positive things are going to happen.
I just chill out in the water because I don't care.
Yeah. And then I had a surprise for my birthday one more day after because my birthday was 2 days ago. And then I had a dinner surprise last night.
I saw that. That was really nice.
I know.
That looked like a lot of oysters.
It was. They got 76 oysters.
76.
So shout out to my brother and Derek for preparing these oysters or whatever else. 76 of them because I was born in 1976.
I figured.
And they made oysters Rockefeller, which I've never had before. But then I like oysters raw. It had like horseradish and spin dip in there, and then they're baked.
Sounds good.
Yeah, they're baked or whatever. They were good, but I like them raw. So I probably had about 2 dozen oysters last night. Just because I wouldn't shut up about it the night before, apparently. So, yeah, that was a good surprise to have, and so I enjoyed it quite a bit. You know, I always goof around about, if you're getting oysters around here, you're probably also flirting with salmonella poisoning.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case.
But here you are, alive and well.
Yeah. We need an oyster bar here.
Do we?
Yes, we do. One that's like that's well priced too.
Okay.
Sure we do. We don't have anything like that.
I guess.
I mean, there's a place in Moline, but I've never been over there.
I wouldn't. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking like oyster buffet, and I was like, I would not trust oysters out of a buffet.
No, I want the old school. Like, so I was talking to someone, a couple days ago, and they're like, "Oh, we're going down to Orlando just to get out of town." I was like, "Hey, you got to check out this oyster bar. It was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And it's like a regular place, but it was this hole in the wall." And you could like actually sit at the oyster bar, and they shuck the oysters in front of you, and there's just like this hole in the middle there, and you just keep putting the shells down there.
Huh? Yeah. That sounds cool.
I loved it.
I would try it.
So it was a good meal, and not one that you're gonna have very often. And so that was, it's been a good couple days. Going into the weekend here, got a volleyball tournament to watch, and then before we know it, pitchers and catchers are going to be reporting. We'll be outdoors doing outdoors things.
You won't even know what to do with yourself.
I won't. Today on the show, a little bit later, we'll talk to Jake from Elite Sportsbook. We'll talk to Emily Van Buskirk at 12:45. And in the second hour, we're going to be joined by Kyle, friend of the show. We'll talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl that's coming up and some of the games that's going on. Big news that's going on right now. I actually thought about this, like reaching out to some of our friends. For some reason, we have more friends down in the Houston area of the show than anywhere else. So
really?
Like 3 or 4 guys that
I feel like it's Houston and the Bay Area.
Yeah. So I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? How big of a deal is this? I mean, they Houston hired a new coach, and it doesn't look at all like it's going to be able to fix the relationship with Deshaun Watson. I mean, Ian Rappaport's saying that it's a no. Well, it happened like days ago. We talked about it, but now it's official. Deshaun Watson has officially asked for a trade outside of Houston. Where he lands, I don't know, but they hired David Culley as their coach. He's been on the Ravens he's 65 years old. This is his first ever head coaching job.
Okay.
He is the oldest person to be hired for an NFL head coaching job.
I was going to say, that sounds kind of old.
I think he'll be the 4th or 5th oldest coach in the league. He's 2 or 3 years older than Vic Fangio, and we said he was old as well. He's got 27 years of NFL experience, almost all being spent coaching wide receivers. The thing that kind of throws me off here is that he was the wide receivers coach under Andy Reid in Kansas City, and in 2014, they have the distinction of being the only team that wide receivers did not score a receiving touchdown during the season. So, Tim Kelly's going to stay on as offensive coordinator. I don't know what they're going to do with their DC. There's been rumors about Lovie Smith. The other thing is this. I think he's also going to bring in somehow as a quarterback coach Josh McCown. I think this is a train wreck of a hire.
Yeah.
I think Houston's in a bad spot. I think this is a no-win for him. And I try to think about this, like, you want your first job, but do you want it to be this when you kind of know, like, he's setting up for a fail.
Yeah.
I mean, would you ever take it, like, you're like, I just know it's not going to work out, like a job. I mean, you're going to take a job. But he wants to be a head coach, but I just don't think this is going to look good on the end.
No, it doesn't sound good.
Unless they can get what they want for Deshaun Watson. And, Adam called in the show on Tuesday, and we were talking about it, and he just said, like, it's a player empowerment era. And I guess you start with player empowerment when you automatically in the contract give him something like, the trade, no trade clause. He can decide where to go. So as a team, you can't just sit there and say it. But how do you negotiate that trade? Because this is a no-win for Houston.
Right.
They say, hey, we want this many draft picks and whatever else. And then you just go, no. And they say, well, why not? Look how good he is. And they go, yeah, but he doesn't want to be there. So you have no bargaining chips whatsoever.
Yeah.
You're not going to keep him because he might not play, or he might just tank it. Who knows? He doesn't want to be there. You have no bargaining tools whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so what do they say? Well, we're giving you someone who's got 10 years in the league. You can't predict that.
Right.
I mean, he's 25 years old, but you can't predict he's going to be playing up until the age like Tom Brady is.
No, you can't.
And so
I mean, I was actually talking to my grandma the other day about, like, the age difference between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And my grandma was saying how Aaron Rodgers should be, like, retiring soon. I said, well, he's 37, and Tom Brady's 43.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I mean, he's got some years left, but then I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, everybody's body's different. You never know.
Well, you never, and you just never know. Like, one hit can change your entire career.
And isn't Drew Brees 42?
Something like that.
And he's supposed to be retiring.
Yeah.
Allegedly for like the 3rd year in a row.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
I expect him to.
You really never know.
And that's what I'm saying. When you're going into that, and you're like, but we're giving you someone who possibly could have 10-year career. That's your response. You don't know that.
Yeah.
All you know is this: he doesn't want to be there.
Takes one ACL tear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but that's exactly what I would do if I'm the Dolphins or I'm the Jets or whatever else. No. Start taking some things off the table that we're trading for. But he's really good. We know that. but he doesn't want to be with you.
Right.
So, like, Houston's got to figure out something because Bill O'Brien left the cupboard just completely bare. They've got their draft capital is terrible, and they just hired a coach who's 65 years old.
It doesn't sound like a smart move to me.
No, but I mean, I don't know. Nothing against Dave Culley, nothing at all. There just feels like a little bit. There's something there that I'm just like, I don't know. Like, they didn't let Deshaun Watson in on the general manager hire, and it sounds like he didn't really have too much input on the coach as well. So, and I mean, Culley's a minority, which is a good hire. We need more of that in the NFL. But I don't know if that's a tactic to say to Deshaun, like, see, is this what you wanted? When he was just like, no, what I wanted was Eric Bieniemy. Mm-hmm. This is what you gave me instead. So, well, I don't know. It's all interesting. Again, I don't know why it dominated sports talk radio this morning, and it did not come to me like a shock at all. But I mean, I listened to Greeny this morning, and he was sitting there saying, like, this is just in breaking news, and it's even on the front page of ESPN.com, like the breaking news of it. Like, all right, whatever. Like, let's move on from this. But I mean, it's not nearly as big of a deal as if they really start flirting with the idea of Aaron Rodgers going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's what people are going to recklessly speculate where he should go. And, you know, you're going to get your San Francisco 49ers in there as well. But we're going to take a look at the Super Bowl. We're going to take a look at the 10 best records that could be broken in Super Bowl that's coming up in a week at 12:30. Then we're going to call Kyle at 12:45. We're going to talk to Emily Van Buskirk. She's down at the Senior Bowl, and she also just did spend a week with other college athletes. So we're going to hear some stories from her. But we will be right back. ESPN, 1170 a.m. Don't hassle us, we're local.
Hey, Quad Cities, stop going to your favorite social media sites asking for suggestions of where to get your oil changed, who does the best tattoo work, or the best place for lunch in the Quad Cities. Pick up your Locals Love Us guide all over the Quad City area. It has an easy-to-navigate table of contents to help you find whatever you're looking for. Or go to their website at localsloveus.com, click on Quad Cities, then browse favorites. It's so easy to use, even Jay can do it.
Yeah.
And they even rank the most popular places for you. Locals Love Us, your guide to the best.
I've been earning and burning, snapping necks and cashing.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Ella Schmidt, the 106-pounder for Bettendorf, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, invites you to discover a brand new way to bet parlays. Introducing One Game Parlay, an exciting feature designed to help you make selections within a single game from over 400 bet types, including team and player props. Log into your BetMGM account and raise the stakes with One Game Parlay for a chance to win big, making your same game win total and prop picks is always fast and easy with One Game Parlay. New to BetMGM? Sign up today and make every play of every game matter more than ever. You can make One Game Parlay bets on pro football, soccer, and NBA games with more sports coming soon. Go ahead and take your favorite player to score, the home team to cover, and the over and yards for the star running back. Big games are even bigger when you add a One Game Parlay into the mix. Log in today or download the BetMGM app to try One Game Parlay and turn game day into payday. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Iowa only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I'm Ari Wolf with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Texans have a new head coach. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero report Houston has chosen longtime Ravens assistant David Culley to lead the team. The 65-year-old has 27 seasons of NFL coaching experience. Rappaport also reports Culley will keep Tim Kelly as the Texans' offense coordinator. Kelly has received praise from quarterback Deshaun Watson, who has reportedly expressed frustration with the Texans front office in recent weeks. Elsewhere, the Chiefs held their first practice for Super Bowl 55 Wednesday, and they had both Le'Veon Bell and Sammy Watkins back on a limited basis. Both players missed the AFC title game with injuries. Patrick Mahomes was able to participate in full despite a recent toe injury. The Bucs did not practice, but said receiver Antonio Brown and safety Antoine Winfield Jr. would have been out. Head coach Bruce Arians says both players will likely not practice at all this week after missing the NFC title game due to an injury. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Frank's Red Hot is the perfect blend of flavor and heat. That's why you can use an entire bottle to make buffalo chicken dip, the kind you might make for when you're watching the game at home. And maybe this year there's less people around to watch the game with. Yay! But that just means there's more dip, and it's all for you. Some of you may say, that's too much dip, but deep down in your heart of hearts, you know it isn't. So go ahead, finish it. Frank's Red Hot don't judge. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Hindsight is 2020. 2020 was a brutal year with a lot we couldn't control. Pandemic, economy, unemployment. What can we control? Our job, our career. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers. But maybe you're unaware of new tools that can help your business stand out. Go to getlocalcustomersnow.com for a free market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too. There's no cost and no obligation. Be one of the first business owners to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising on this station. Get started today. Visit getlocalcustomersnow.com. That's getlocalcustomersnow.com.
Janae and Golick Jr.
The difference that a ring makes in a Hall of Fame campaign, like the one Phillip Rivers is going to get ready for, is seismic for me,
I don't
Janae.
like you. I don't like you right now.
Why is that?
I really don't like you. Because, like, I am 28 years old, professional athlete currently for the LA Sparks. And like, I come front every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to win a championship. It matters so much to me because I feel like, honestly, that's the only thing I haven't really done. I did it in high school, didn't get to do it in college. And then now at the professional level against the best of the best, that's awesome. But it's funny because it's graded on the scale of how much does a championship matter to that athlete, right? At some point, you know, some people are just good with their legacy being pretty good and better than most. But, I just think it's funny because every time these things are sometimes subjective per the athlete, I would love it, but I'm still good regardless, but it would help.
Janae and Golick Jr., 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Snow is here, and River Valley Turf sells all the top brands in the business. They now have both new and used machines in stock and ready for immediate delivery, like John Deere tractors with blades and blowers. Or choose from new or used Ariens, Toro, and Honda walk-behind blowers at unbelievably low prices. Need a bigger unit? Try any compact tractor with loader or a utility vehicle with a blade. River Valley Turf has it all. Stop by and see them before they're gone. River Valley Turf in Silvis and Davenport and rivervalleyturf.com.
Open our app to listen live, win stuff, and to sign up for breaking news alerts. Never miss a thing on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
We are back here on ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us, we're local. I want to remind everybody that you can listen to us not only on ESPN 1170 AM on the terrestrial radio, you can listen on the app wherever you download apps from. Go to ESPN 1170 AM and download the app. Plus, you can also win prizes. Check that out. You can listen to ESPN1170am.com. You can click listen now. And, of course, we're live every day on Harrington's Pub, Facebook Live, and also on YouTube. All right. Going into this Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There are 10 records that could be broken in the Super Bowl that's coming up. Well, I'm glad you asked, Coral. The first one is the oldest coach to win the Super Bowl could possibly go down.
Okay.
Right now, it's held by Bill Belichick, who was 66 when the Patriots defeated the Rams. Before that, it was Tom Coughlin, who was 65. Marv Levy was 68 when he coached in it, but they did not win. The Bills did not when he was in the Super Bowl. So if the Buccaneers can defeat the Chiefs, Bruce Arians would become the oldest coach to win a Super Bowl. He is 68 years old.
68.
Mm-hmm. So there's a possibility going down that he could be the oldest coach No, Arians did not become. He was an assistant coach for the Steelers when they beat the Eagles, and I don't think he became Arians. Well, it was at Tampa Bay, so 9 years ago. So he was about 60 when he finally got his first job, right around there. So
Leah would not be happy to hear you say if the Bucks win.
Mm-hmm.
Not happy.
No, she would not. Another record that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
First quarterback to win a Super Bowl in 3 decades. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Eli Manning are the only starting quarterbacks to win Super Bowls in different decades.
Oh, yeah.
But if the Buccaneers beat the Chiefs, Brady will become the only quarterback to win a ring in each of 3 decades. He won 3 Super Bowls in each of the past 2 decades. So, Andy Reid, if Kansas City were to win, would join the elite company of multiple Super Bowls. And he would be one of the few that also won back-to-back titles as well. The people that he would be joining that won 2 Super Bowls during their career, Vince Lombardi, Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, Tom Flores, Bill Walsh, Joe Gibbs, Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson, George Seifert, Mike Shanahan, Bill Belichick, Tom Coughlin. Mahomes could join a list of multiple MVP winners, which means he would actually have to win the MVP, right? So if he would be named, if the Kansas City were to win, he would named MVP. He would join Bart Starr and Bradshaw as the only players to win Super Bowl MVPs in consecutive years. Brady has never won consecutive Super Bowl MVPs. Mm-hmm. During his time, he was named Super Bowl 4 times, and the other 2 went to receivers. Deion Branch and Julian Edelman were named MVPs during his wins. If Kansas City were to win, Patrick Mahomes becomes the youngest quarterback with 2 Super Bowls.
Really?
Yep.
He's 25, isn't he?
25 years old and 143 days when he takes the first snap in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're very similar ages.
You
must have a July birthday.
Must.
What if we had the same birthday? That'd be wild. Now I gotta look it up.
The all-time conference series lead is up for grabs. Including the 4 Super Bowls played between the AFL and the NFL, the Super Bowl is tied between teams from the AFC and the NFC.
Oh, I'm not really good at math. It's
The
September
winner
17th.
of the Super Bowl will give their conference a 28-27 all-time record in the Super Bowl. The AFC, despite losing 13 consecutive Super Bowls against the NFC from 1984 to 1996, can retake the series lead. Obviously, the Patriots the AFC can thank the Patriots for all that, for getting them back into the swing of things. So right now it's tied 27-27 in the all-time series lead. The Chiefs, if they win, will end the drought. That was now we're looking at 17 years since we've had back-to-back Super Bowl winners.
Yep.
So the Chiefs have the way to end the drought.
I think we're due.
You think so?
Yeah.
Brady can join another group of quarterback clubs in the Super Bowl if the Buccaneers can win. He would join Jim Plunkett, John Elway, Trent Dilfer, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, and Aaron Rodgers as the only quarterbacks to lead a wild-card team to a Super Bowl title. And also, if they were to win, he would join Ben Roethlisberger, Manning, and Rodgers as the only quarterbacks to win Super Bowl after winning 3 road playoff games. This will only be the 3rd 5 seed to go to the Super Bowl. The Patriots in 85-86 were a 5 seed, and the Giants, and I believe in the 2007-2008 Super Bowl, were a 5 seed as well.
So whoever wins this Super Bowl, they'll be the 2020 champion?
Yeah, it's like the 2020 season, but
Right.
it's still played in 2021.
Okay. I know
So
we were talking about that the other day, but
everyone calls them the 85 Bears. I don't, because it was on my birthday, so I like to call them the 85-86 Bears and give them a little
Yeah.
bit. But when people are if people are going to reference them, like one of the greatest Super Bowl teams of all time, or one of the greatest defense too, they're going to say the 85 Bears. They're not going to spend the time to say, like, bring up January 26, 1986, like I do. But I just, yeah. If Tom Brady can get a win over the Chiefs, he would join Peyton Manning as the only starting quarterback to win Super Bowls with 2 franchises. Manning led the Broncos to a victory in Super Bowl 50 9 years after leading the Colts to a 29-17 win over the Bears. Manning, Brady, Craig Morton, Kurt Warner are the only quarterbacks to start for multiple franchises. We talked about that the other day. Morton lost his second Super Bowl against the team that he quarterbacked in his first Super Bowl. Morton, 6 years after leading the Cowboys to the franchise first Super Bowl, he lost to the Dallas Doomsday defense in Denver when he was playing for Denver. And finally, the one thing that we've said over and over, this will become the first actual home team if Tampa Bay wins to win the Super Bowl.
I was talking about that with my grandma the other day.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird that they're playing at one of their fields?
No, the sites are all predetermined.
Oh. So
usually
even
it's
if
a
the
more-
Buccaneers were not in it, it would be at their...
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so like Arizona, like dome stadiums that have it or whatever
Mhm.
else. So it's all about weather usually. So
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, that seems really odd, but
so
just
I
happened that way, I guess.
I texted Jake the other day, and we're gonna talk a little bit about this later.
Mhm.
I texted him because I said, hey, we're gonna talk on the air, and he's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And I was like, do you guys have any odds up for the Royal Rumble? And he said, the WWF thing, WWE.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. He said, Jesus, sports really that slow? Like, no, it's a Royal Rumble, man. Like, it's legit. Like, they should. I found odds for it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of the big four. It's the road to WrestleMania. This is. I'm excited for the Royal Rumble. So
What
one
is-
that actually my kid. What do you know? You don't know. You do not know what the Royal Rumble is?
No.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna waste too much time talking about this a little bit later. I mean, it is just a big battle royal, but you don't know what number you're or who's coming out because they come out every like 2
Oh,
minutes.
Ronda Rousey
She was
has
in one.
odds to win it.
She should not be. No, is not. She's
That's
not.
what Brad Hines says.
Unless she's gonna be a surprise person.
Mm.
Her favorite right now is Bianca Belair.
He's arguing, yes, she does.
At plus 250 is Bianca Belair. I got Alexa Bliss at plus 350. Rhea Ripley at plus 400. Charlotte Flair at plus 500. Bayley at plus 700. Becky Lynch at plus 800. On the men's side, Keith Lee is a favorite at plus 250. Daniel Bryan plus 300. Big E at plus 300. Brock Lesnar plus 450. Edge plus 500. Goldberg, AJ Styles, I think it's actually going to be Daniel Bryan, which is a big fart noise for me. I'm not a big. Anyway, so it's one of the big four pay-per-view events.
Okay.
And they draw 1 through 30.
Yeah.
And they come down like every 2 minutes or whatever else. Like the first two start in the ring or whatever I get, you know.
Yeah.
And then like every 2 minutes the countdown will start. People go well, there's nobody in the stands anymore, but yeah, it's a big, like AJ Styles made his debut at it, and that was like, what? Oh my god! So I don't know if I don't know who's going to be the oh my goodness moment this week, but the Sunday, but yeah,
it's on Sunday.
It is, yeah.
It'll
be great.
It sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we can figure it out. if you make a drinking game out of it too, I'm sure. I bet you if you
can make a drinking game out of anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on.
That's what I say. All right, let's give our friend Jake a call.
Like, imagine if the guys on the show had to take a drink every time I touched my hair or made a face.
This is Dick.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. It's me, you, and
Gearing up
Coral
for the big
here.
game?
Huh?
Are you all gearing up for the big game?
Yeah. We're talking about the big game.
I'm just perfecting my buffalo chicken dip recipe.
Okay.
That's
perfect.
that's a
Nothing better than that.
It's very important.
Yeah, it is. But the big game. That's what's going on now. Everything else. How was your weekend with the UFC?
It went really well. We had a good crowd. The fight was really entertaining. Good card in general, and personally, it was just kind of good to see McGregor lose and be humble a little bit. I don't know. So it seems like a pretty good family guy. So all around, it was a good weekend for us.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys had a good crowd out there for that. I think it broke like numbers for views and everything out, and so I'm sure you had a good crowd and people were putting some money here and there. But what are we looking at for on the EliteSportsbook.com? Are we going to be getting into some prop bets here for the big game?
Yeah, we've got around 90 prop bets already loaded on the site. Anything from what will the first touchdown be, who's going to receive the kickoff, kind of more game-related props and focus. And then we'll be adding up to around 300 total props by next week. We'll start getting into more specific player props, things like that, as we get closer to the game. So, we're really excited. It's a big prop game for us. Everyone enjoys, placing some far-fetched props on the big game. But then we're going to be rolling out a bunch of promotions next week as well, some highlighting props in general and things like that. So a lot of fun and exciting stuff to share with you guys next week in that regard.
Well, that sounds great. I'm looking at right now. I'm on the website, and so you said you're going to be adding a bunch more, right?
Yep. So some of the player props come out closer to the game for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
See who's going to be playing and things like that as we inch closer. And then also with COVID, there's going to be some last minute changes, things like that. So, next week some of the more the player supported props will come out. But I think around last I looked, there were 90 this morning, 87 to 90 of them already loaded there and lines around. So if you haven't already, go to the website, check them out.
Yeah,
kind of do some planning.
I'm looking at it now, and
the props you're gonna play for the big game.
If you go to the menu on the left and pull it up under the pro football game lines, I went all the way down and I scrolled down to the miscellaneous game props, which I like that stuff. And stuff like will the game be tied at halftime? Are we gonna get to maybe the over under on the national anthem?
I do not think that we'll be offering that prop. Well, actually, pretty confident we won't be. Some of those props, I don't want to call them gimmicky, but they're kind of looked down upon by the RGC and our risk team. So, color Gatorade, things like that are a little bit subjective and have a little bit more human influence, usually aren't offered.
Coin flip?
What's that?
What about the coin flip?
Coin flip, it's kind of a different version of that, but who's going to receive the ball, to start the game, things like that. So not necessarily as specific as a coin flip, but kind of a side version of that, right?
I gotcha.
We have a question for you, Jake.
Yes.
Are you able to parlay prop bets at Elite Sportsbook?
It all just depends on the bet. So I encourage you guys just to kind of play around with the bet ticket there and add some bets in and see which ones go or not. There's just so many different combinations of things that you could do. It's kind of a complicated answer.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, but like you said, Jake, the best thing for anybody to do is to go navigate the site and get yourself familiar with it instead of just just automatically going into it and just you don't want to wait till it's 3 minutes before kickoff and then start trying to put in your prop bets. It's just
exactly, and that's the good thing about leading up to the big game, like the full week or once all the player props are out, playing around that bet ticket and playing around with the odds that you want and seeing what's parlayable and what's not. It's kind of fun to kind of plan it all out and then wait till right before the game and make sure there's no last minute changes or injuries or COVID changes, and then kind of putting them all together. And it's a fun game and it's a fun weekend. So I would encourage you to go on and kind of prep that beforehand because it makes it a little bit more enjoyable as well. But it's always fun to throw on some in-game bets as well and play around with your feelings as the game's going on.
Yeah, and like you said, just by going to the going to the website, even if you're like, I'm looking at your stuff right now, and like the post playoffs reload, up to $25 in free bets. Use code reload25, or there's for first time users, new users get a $100 free bet. When you parlay your NFL picks, and then like you said, there's a quick window to all the props that you can do as well, and progressive parlays. So it really is like a navigating thing that everyone should do just to kind of get used to the site, and that's. I mean, we can tell you all day long what to bet, but that doesn't mean that's how you want to bet it. And if you think opposite of what we say, you can put your money where you want to, but just make sure you know what you're doing with the site. And it's about patience and learning how to invest your money the right way on EliteSportsbook.com.
Exactly. And I know a lot of kind of novice sports bettors start placing prop bets or bets, and they may not be a regular all season long. So if you ever have a question on what you are betting or what it includes, if you're not 100% sure, one of the worst feelings is thinking you've got a bet on something and then you think you've won and then it never adds to your account, and then you find out when you read the fine details that wasn't exactly what you were betting. So if you ever have any questions, make sure you can click the link to the house rules, or you can always call our customer service team and they'll explain every part of the bet and what qualifies as a win and things like that. So got a great customer service team. So hit the contact us. There's even a chat too, so we can chat with you in real time, get you the answers real quick. So if you don't want to, call and talk to someone and take that time.
Yeah, and you guys on your site, I mean, you have all the sports listed and they can find it. But yes, there are certain things that you have to learn. Like I learned soccer the hard way, that you can bet to win or tie, but you can't. A tie isn't a push, and so I learned that the hard way years ago, before Iowa allowed us to be able to do this. Maybe it was an offshore account that I was gambling on. I don't know. I don't want to incriminate myself too much. So
something too is like quarterbacks. If you're putting them in a parlay, or you're putting a bet on, for them to score. Some sites don't classify a passing touchdown as a score. It's like a rushing touchdown as a score or whatnot. So definitely a good idea to get some clarification if you're ever in doubt, because like I said, it's nothing worse than thinking you won or you pushed and you actually lost. So.
And so the risk management team did not want to put the Royal Rumble odds on that I asked?
What's that?
The risk management team did not want to put odds on the Royal Rumble for the WWE this weekend? That guy asked?
Yeah, I don't know. They're a little bit prejudiced, I guess, against the WWE. I don't know what it is. It seems like a pretty stand-up organization to me, but there are unfortunately no odds on the Royal Rumble.
It really does sound like a pretty stand-up organization. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it does feel like that way. It's not predetermined at all. So that's fantastic. Is there anything else out there for us, my man?
Just encourage you, if you're going to reload your account, between now and the Super Bowl, do it today. We've got a 25% reload bonus. Running, like you had mentioned. It does end today, so make sure if you're going to deposit, use promo code RELOAD25. You'll get a 25% deposit match up to $25 in free bets, and then just make sure to check the site, follow us on social media at Elite Sportsbook. We're going to be starting to do some social media giveaways starting on Monday. And we'll be giving away free bets up to the Super Bowl, and then some merch packages and autographed memorabilia and things like that. And then also for the Iowa-Illinois game tomorrow, and this will start tomorrow. So if you plan on betting on that game, we're bringing back our $3 threes promotion. So if you bet $100 or more on Iowa or Illinois, whatever team you bet on, every three-pointer that's made, you'll get a $3 free bet up to $30. So we did a similar promotion for the Iowa State game, bringing that back. So that'll start tomorrow. So just encourage everyone to check the site, check the promotions tab, and follow us on social media.
Right on, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, so do the reload. It ends today. Use reload code 25, and then, like you said, keep your eye open for the Iowa promotion for the Iowa-Illinois game that you guys are running. And so are you guys going to open up the rhythm room for the big game, or are you just going to keep everything at draft day, do you think?
We're having the big
that's right.
Big game party event in the event center, actually. So
that's right.
Tickets are available for that. Discussed it a little bit last time, but it's $25 a ticket. You get 2 free beers, as much non-alcoholic beverages as you'd like. There will be a buffet in there for food. Eat as much as you'd like. There may be some prizes and giveaways and things, but it's kind of a surprise. So we'll have the big screen TVs on and plenty of room in there to social distance. All COVID restriction requirements are in check. But, so there's tickets still available for that at Rhythm City's website. So go and check that out if you're looking for a place to watch the games.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, my man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Yeah, look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks, Jake. Yep. All right. It's Jake from Elite Sportsbook. Go and check out the site. Follow them on social media, all that good stuff. We have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to call our friend Emily Van Buskirk and talk a little bit about college football.
We're streaking. We're going up through the quad to the gymnasium. There's more coming.
Frank, get in the car.
Everybody's doing it.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah. You like that? You like that?
This is Adam Rosso from Hawkeye Headquarters, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
2020 was challenging, but Winger Truck Line is still running strong. Hey, it's Eric, and our Class A CDL drivers get home more often now than ever before with regional and regional home daily runs. Come join us for a successful 2021. Full-time, part-time, and the best lease purchase plan available anywhere. Call me today, 800-593-6433, or see us online at drivewtl.com.
The capital gets its name. More from the Iowa Almanac in a moment.
I'm Michael Swanger, owner and publisher of Iowa History Journal. Now is the time to subscribe to Iowa History Journal, as you won't want to miss the incredible stories we have planned for 2021. They are the kind of stories that you won't read in other magazines. As we begin our 13th year of publishing Iowa History Journal, we remind Iowans that many of our back issues are also available. Get your copy of our January-February issue at Hy-Vee and Fairway, or visit iowahistoryjournal.com and order it today.
We all know Des Moines as Iowa's largest city and the state capital, but its beginnings were far more humble. Back in May of 1843, Captain James Allen supervised the construction of a fort where the Des Moines and Raccoon Rivers merge. Captain Allen wanted to call it Fort Raccoon, but the U.S. War Department overruled him and declared the structure to be known as Fort Des Moines. In May of 1851, much of the town surrounding the fort was destroyed by floods. The devastation was complete, allowing in essence a clean slate on which a new city could be built. That city was incorporated in the fall of 1851 as Fort Des Moines. At that time, there were only 3,500 residents living in about 500 dwellings. The state capital moved from Iowa City to Des Moines by declaration of Governor James Grimes in 1857. Notice I said moved to Des Moines. That's because shortly before the governor declared the city to be the state's capital, the name Fort Des Moines was shortened to simply Des Moines. Imagine if Captain James Allen had gotten his way when the original fort was built. Iowa's capital city might be known today as Raccoon, but it's not, and the city became known as Des Moines on this date in 1857. And that's Iowa Almanac for January 28th. Until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Stein.
The Circle Tap is your place to catch the big game on February 7th. Watch the championship game on one of their 16 flat-screen TVs or relax on the heated, socially distanced patio. Enjoy $2 cans, $4 Bloody Marys, and over $1,500 in cash prizes, like a flat-screen TV, a wall-mounted fireplace, a Bud Light mini fridge, and more. Plus $5 Made-Right baskets, $6 pulled pork baskets, or grab a rack of their world-famous ribs. Great food, great drinks, and great friends. The big game at the Circle Tap. West Locust, Davenport.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
What do I do with the number one overall pick? I know the New York Jets are sitting there at number 2. Everyone seems to think that Joe Douglas says that he's going to go lock and step with whoever he hires as the head coach to make a decision on Sam Darnold's future. But let's assume that that person moves on from Sam Darnold, or want to move on from Sam Darnold. I'm Urban Meyer, and I like Justin Fields because I help recruit him, I know him, and I'm sitting at the number 1 spot. And the Jets are at 2. What I would do is pick up the phone in the Jets and say, hey, we're interested in Trevor Lawrence, but we hear you are too. You want to trade it and move one spot up? I tell you what, give me everything that you got in the first round this year, and I'll let you jump in front of me and take that spot to get Trevor Lawrence, because I really want Justin Fields without you really knowing that.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170. We're playing all the hits. The Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
All right, we're back here. ESPN 1170 AM here in the Hassle Castle. Brought to you by Dunright TV and Security Solutions. We're going to give our friend Emily Van Buskirk a call, catch up with her. She is now, I believe, down in Alabama for the Senior Bowl. But she'll fill us in on what's going on and whatnot, and where she was at last week. I know we talked to her, I think the week before, when she was traveling. She has spent a week.
Hello.
Emily.
Hi.
It's Jay and Coral. No T-Roy today, so.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Why?
he's traveling up to Wisconsin to go to the indoor water parks or something like that.
Who's gonna laugh at all my jokes that I make at your expense?
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, there we go.
Emily, you are in Alabama now?
I am in Mobile, Alabama. I'm actually standing in the stadium watching the Senior Bowl practice right now.
Okay.
Very cool.
And where were you at last week? I know you told us 2 weeks ago. But
So last week, I was in Fort Worth, Texas, and I was at the College Gridiron Showcase event, which is similar to the Senior Bowl. It's not, people don't know it. It's not as well known. It's new. It's in its 7th year now. And it's like a small school showcase kind of. So they have players that come that didn't get invited to Senior Bowl, that may not have anywhere else to showcase their skills, but still want a shot at, going to the league. So, and it's a different style format. Here at the Senior Bowl, they practice all week, and then they play a game on Saturday. But at the Gridiron Showcase, they do OTA-style drills because it's based around what the scouts want to see from the players. Okay. So it's awesome, the access to the players. There were 119 scouts and NFL personnel there watching guys, and we got to see them do, combine-like drills and showcase their talent in that way. So it's a really incredible event, and this year more so than ever with the pandemic and then the combine being canceled and a lot of pro days might not happen. It was a great place for players to get seen.
So when you're with those scouts and the NFL player personnel guys, the front office type of people, what's some of the conversations you have with them?
Well, I was very fortunate this year at the event to work with the Minnesota Vikings. Their scout had reached out to me about, conversation we had at a game earlier this year. And he said, if you want to be my runner, which is the person who kind of gets him the interviews with the guys that he wants and sets everything up and works with the players to facilitate their meetings, he was like, you can do it. So I basically got to be in, the scout room the whole day, bringing guys in to meet with them. So it was interesting to watch the process unfold. And the scouts, they take a lot of time with some of these guys. I mean, they sit down with them. Our guys specifically watched, film with them. So they'll have film of the players queued up and they'll watch it together. Sometimes they'll have the players draw out plays and situational things on iPads. And then they just kind of get a feel for who the guys are. They talk to them about their families, their girlfriends, whatever it is, to kind of feel out if it's a good fit for the organization. And one of the funnier things that happened, the guys are usually in their workout gear or they're in their school stuff, and it's a job interview. So they're taking it very seriously. One of the players from SMU, Brandon Stevens, he actually wore a suit, which I thought was so unique and interesting. And I asked my scout about that, like, hey, does that make an impression on you? And he said, yeah, you get guys that come in suits because it is a job interview and they want to make that impression. Then there's the guys that show up in like Dumb and Dumber suits and, as a joke and say like to play on the seriousness of it all. And he said, that can go well, it could be funny, or it could be like, hey, if you're not taking this seriously, why should I? Mm-hmm. So it was interesting to see how he interacted with each of the players and what they were looking for when they're trying to scout a guy for their NFL team.
Yeah, that is interesting. Did you so as he's having you be a runner to get the guys that he wants to interview, did you come across a lot of players that you weren't so familiar with that you're like, I got to keep an eye on this guy?
I did learn a lot about, because these are guys, there were some big names there. We had Mason Stockey, the fullback from Wisconsin, and there was some linemen that are pretty well known. A guy from Purdue, Grant Hermans, who's awesome. And there were names that you would recognize, but there are a lot of guys from smaller schools that you might not. So I did a lot of prep because I was on the broadcast team for the event.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of prep, so I learned a lot about them. But yes, working with the players directly, I learned even more. Like there was a kid, Devin Key from Western Kentucky, who I had seen play, when I went out to a Marshall game, but I didn't know much about him. So I learned that we were actually at the same high school football game when I called that game in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Oh.
His brother plays for Frederick Douglass, one of the teams that I was calling.
Mm-hmm.
We were both at the same game, and we had no idea. And so little things like that were just kind of funny that would come up throughout the week with these guys, getting to know them. So it was cool.
Yeah, that does sound awesome. So this week at the Senior Bowl, what are you doing?
So the Senior Bowl, this is my third or fourth time coming, and it's very different this year with COVID. Jim Nagy does a great job with this event, and they're taking it very, very seriously. So the NFL personnel, the scouts, and the coaches, we have the Panthers coaching staff and the Dolphins coaching staff here. They're each coaching a team. They're keeping them very separate from the media and everybody else. So like right now we're in the stadium, and we're watching from the stands, but we don't have the access like to the players where you just grab them on the field and they review them this year. It's distance interviewing, and a lot of it is done over Zoom or on the phone. So as far as what we're doing, I put together a team of all women, and there's 4 of us here working the event. So I have a girl that her name's Kim, and she's shooting photos for me and taking video. And then my other friend, Michelle, who's a writer, we're doing, our recap and reaction. So it's definitely a different year because of COVID, but we're making the best out of it. There's a lot less player interview interactions and more analysis of what we see on the field. And it's been fun to watch. There's a lot of big names here. Najee Harris is here. You've got some guys from Florida, Kadarius Toney. Kyle Trask pulled out because of his injury, so he's not here, but Ian Book is here. Just a lot of names that you would recognize, and watching them all play together, and learn each other's ways. It's been fun. It's been fun. And some guys are really showing out and upping their draft stock, while others are kind of being exposed, if you will.
Well, keep an eye out for our guy from Iowa, the offensive lineman, Alaric Jackson. And we have a defensive lineman there, too, Chauncey Golston. And University of Northern Iowa has 2 people playing there, too. They're FCS school. FCS school, but they didn't. I don't even think they got much playing at all. But they're on 2 players there from Northern Iowa. They're on the national team, Spencer Brown and Ellison Smith. So keep an eye on them. Is there any quarterback?
Keep an eye out for them. I've definitely been looking. Spencer Brown from Northern Iowa, I have seen him, and he does look good. But one of the guys that I really, really like, and I don't know if you've heard of him or not, his name's Ellison Smith. That's the other Northern Iowa guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ellison Smith. He's having a phenomenal 2 days of practice. He's a big guy, but he hits so hard, and he actually right now, just in front of me, got into it a little bit, hitting and throwing fists. It's getting a little chippy. These guys, they haven't played football in a while, so they're all kind of pent up, and they're letting it out right now in some of the situational stuff. And he actually just got into it with some players on the other team. But you love to see that out of a guy. He's scrappy. I love it.
Oh, that's great. So I really like what you said, and you were busy last week. You said you have your team, and it's and you've put together a good team. And we've always you've always been so great to our show, and we're big supporters of you. Last week we called Jessica, and really we talked to her because it was coming out about the new GM of the Mets, now fired, and we were just kind of talking about it, and everyone's got their own story, whatever else, and it's not easy for what you do, because a lot of times, like, people just downplay the fact that you're in sports and you're a woman, but you're only there because of, like, your looks or your personality, not that you're talented. And I just think what we were talking about is, like, and obviously we push all your stuff and everything else, but, like, how tough that is for, like, women in sports journalism.
It is. It's extremely hard, and we definitely don't like to harp on it or dwell on it because it can be an old tired line to just say how difficult it is. It's hard for everybody in this industry, but yes, being a female, our group that's here, we're probably we're definitely the only all female, and there's probably only a handful of other women that are here, in a media capacity. So, you're going to be in that minority group as a female at these football events. But honestly, now more than ever, women are getting these opportunities, especially when it comes to things like optics and especially scouting. Because now with this experience that I just had last week with the Vikings has turned me on to scouting. And, I had never thought of that as a possibility before, but they are looking for women to do that side of things and to be, in the football room looking at these guys and stuff. So I say, yes, it sucks. And there's a lot of bad guys out there that make it hard. But for all that, I feel like we've come a long way, especially in the last couple of years. When I started is so different to now. And when you find this good group of women, like the women that you mentioned, we lift each other up and we support each other and promote each other's work. And that's been my favorite part of all of this, is finding those women and working with them and creating, content together. The girl that I have shooting here, video and photos, she's incredible. And I'm posting some of her pictures on our Twitter. She's just so talented. And so to give her this platform, the guy from Florida reached out, the SID, and asked if they could use the photos. So it's just been fun to see that and give her this opportunity and turn it into something like a job for her. So I love this stuff. I love it. So I'm just happy to know such incredible women.
Yeah, and that's so cool that the SID reached out to use her stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's a good friend of mine. We went to St. Mary's together, but he's the football SID at Florida, and he was having trouble getting a hold of the actual, Senior Bowl media people because they're very busy. And so he was trying to ask them for content that Florida could post, and he saw that I was here, and he said, hey, do you think you could send us some photos that we can use for Florida Athletics or social media? And I was like, Skip, I got you. Let me get on it. And she shot some incredible pictures of Kadarius Toney and the other guys that are here. So definitely look out for those on social media. She takes great pictures. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So when's the game? Saturday?
The game is on Saturday, and it's funny because the game is not a lot of people stay for it. It's the funny thing about this event is the game is less important to the media people than the week of practice, like right now, watching the guys in situations and how they adjust and work. So we're staying for the game because it's her first time, and I want her to get the full experience. But a lot of people do leave. They're leaving today and tomorrow. So,
right on.
Yeah.
So then,
I just want football. So I'm like, if there's a game and I don't care who's playing, and I'm going to stay and watch it.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel the same way. Any way that I can get any type of live event, I'm just going to soak it in for as much as I can. So what are you working on after this then?
That's I think I'm going to take a little bit of time. It's been kind of a whirlwind postseason that I didn't think I'd have because of COVID. So I'm going to go home, take a beat and a breath and then get into some draft stuff. That's going to be a big push. Last year I did a lot of things leading up to it on guys, and this year I want to do even more. So I'm going to work on prepping some of my stories to help guys draft stock. I'm going to have guys on the podcast, and I'm going to look into that scouting stuff. I want to start this path, to working in an NFL scout room. So I'm going to start figuring out whether that's going to the scouting academy or, starting somewhere as an intern, whatever it is, I'm going to do it because I've found I love it, and now I don't want to do anything else.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great it's great to hear, and even to hear it in your voice, like how excited you are for it, and we're always excited to hear what the next step of what you're going to do. But we'll have to have you on again soon so you and T. Ray can argue about the draft and who's going where, because he's obsessed with the draft
Absolutely.
already.
Of course he is.
He told me just earlier this week that he's never been more prepared for a draft than he is this year. So I don't know why, but yeah. But he's super
It's going to be
excited.
a really good one this year, I think. You've got a lot of talented guys coming out, especially at quarterback position. It's going to be I'm interested to see how teams vie for these top guys and what trades. I think the trades, are going to be the most interesting part of it, to see where teams jockey to get up there to get the first rounders, because the first rounders this year are very interesting players. So possibly changing the game for some of these NFL teams that need a boost.
Do you have any speculation where Deshaun Watson's going to go?
I do not. I don't. Honestly, I've been trying to kind of stay away from all of that stuff and focus. My favorite part of the NFL is the guys I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
Following these young guys in, and I, to be honest with you, I don't watch a ton of NFL games. I'll watch the guys that I know play, and I'll follow those teams. But I prefer this side of it, and that's why that's why I love the scouting, is because it is about all of these kids finding out who they are, how they would be an addition to an organization. So actually, I don't follow too much of the current stuff going on,
Mm-hmm.
So I should get more into it. You're right.
Well, the thing is, we have to figure out a way, Emily, to, well, not that we have to. I mean, I can, if you have time, we'll put it on Zoom. That way we can be on Facebook, because people are saying that they want to have a dueling mock draft between you and T-Roy and have you guys going back and forth like Mel and McShay. So
that'd be
I
great.
could do that. I could get into that. Could get into that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll set something up then. Hey, enjoy your time down there. As always, safe travels, and I appreciate. Tell everyone where they can follow you and talk about your podcast real quick.
Absolutely. The website's getting a bunch of stuff going up this week, so definitely check out sidelinesass.com with 3 S's. Follow on social media, Sideline Sass, and then my handle is Emilnem, EMILNEM, on Twitter and Instagram. There's going to be a ton of content from the Senior Bowl itself, and as we move into the draft, I'm going to be doing a bunch of podcasts previewing guys that might be on your NFL team. So I think it's worth checking out, and come find me. Come start a conversation. I'm here for it.
Right on. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and again, like I said, have fun, enjoy your time while you're there.
I will. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Yep, bye. All right, that's Emily Van Buskirk, friend of the show, and I mean, she's just living the life. Gets to go watch college football, and the best part about it is how much she enjoys doing what she does.
You can just tell it in her voice how passionate she is about it, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of cool is that, when she just says, like, out of nowhere, now the scouting thing is just another avenue that she can do. So
yeah.
All right, where am I at here? Well, we got to take a quick break, and then I just lost something here. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by our friend Kyle. So we'll be right back. ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us. We're local.
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Tyson Blazer, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local on ESPN 1170 AM.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
If you're Dak Prescott, do you believe in the management of the Cowboys? Do you believe they can help you to win a Super Bowl? I personally don't know if I believe that in Dallas. If I'm Dak, I want to hold them hostage. I not only want my money, I not only want the years I get, but if I don't get that, then franchise tag me for another year. Pay me my $38, $39 million and let my proof be on the field. I know he just had an injury, and I know that's a gamble for a guy like Dak Prescott, but then I'm thinking about, can I go to a scenario like San Francisco? Like, what's going to happen with Jimmy G? Well, Kyle Shanahan, that defense, that can help me win a Super Bowl a lot quicker. Can I go to a situation like a New Orleans? Drew Brees is going to retire. That defense is intact. I have weapons. I know what's there.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Get your maximum refund and your taxes prepared for half the price with AmeriFile.
I'm Christy, a single mom from Bettendorf. I got tired of paying $250 at H&R Block, so I went to AmeriFile. As advertised, they did my taxes for far less than half the price.
AmeriFile Tax Centers has the best tax prep deal in town. Taxes prepared for half the price of the other guys. And you get free Rudy's Tacos, free Whitey's, free Chick-fil-A, or fresh blend smoothies. Go to AmeriFile.com or call AmeriFile to schedule your tax appointment today and save.
We always use drive-through windows for fast food and banking. Now the Quad Cities has drive-through taxes with AmeriFile. Don't let COVID delay your tax refund this year. For the safest way to get your taxes done, use AmeriFile's drive-through tax service in Moline and Davenport. Stay safe in your car, drop your tax stuff off, and your taxes are prepared contact-free. Go to AmeriFile.com or call AmeriFile 762-8087.
I'm Ari Wolf with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Texans have a new head coach. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero report Houston has chosen longtime Ravens assistant David Culley to lead the team. The 65-year-old has 27 seasons of NFL coaching experience. Rappaport also reports Culley will keep Tim Kelly as the Texans' offense coordinator. Kelly has received praise from quarterback Deshaun Watson, who has reportedly expressed frustration with the Texans front office in recent weeks. Elsewhere, the Chiefs held their first practice for Super Bowl 55 Wednesday, and they had both Le'Veon Bell and Sammy Watkins back on a limited basis. Both players missed the AFC title game with injuries. Patrick Mahomes was able to participate in full despite a recent toe injury. The Bucs did not practice, but said receiver Antonio Brown and safety Antoine Winfield Jr. would have been out. Head coach Bruce Arians says both players will likely not practice at all this week after missing the NFC title game due to an injury. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Frank's Red Hot is the perfect blend of flavor and heat. That's why you can use an entire bottle to make buffalo chicken dip, the kind you might make for when you're watching the game at home. And maybe this year there's less people around to watch the game with. But that just means there's more dip, and it's all for you. Some of you may say, that's too much dip, but deep down in your heart of hearts, you know it isn't. So go ahead, finish it. Frank's Red Hot don't judge. Frank's Red Hot, I put that on everything.
Hindsight is 20/20. 2020 was a brutal year with a lot we couldn't control. Pandemic, economy, unemployment. What can we control? Our job, our career. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Sports bettors, are you ready? You can now experience Iowa's premium sportsbook from the comfort of your own home. Download the PointsBet app now and use code Iowa2K to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. When you bet with PointsBet, you get faster bets, faster withdrawals, and faster rewards at your fingertips. All on an easy-to-use app rated #1 on Trustpilot. See for yourself why bettors are calling PointsBet innovative, lightning quick, and the reason they've ditched the other books. Plus, PointsBet's Refer a Friend program is now easier than ever. Refer a friend to PointsBet, and you both get $100 in free bets. Share with your friends the faster, easier way to bet. Download the app now to experience Iowa's premium sportsbook for yourself. And don't forget to sign up with code Iowa2K to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. What do you have to lose? So, are you ready? Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing. From the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170, KBOB Davenport.
All right. Welcome back to the second hour. Don't hassle us. We're local here on ESPN 1170 AM. Kyle's going to join us in studio. Kyle's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Coral's to my right. Kyle's to my left. You can watch us on Facebook Live. We have the cameras on all of us. So, Kyle, talk to me about the Super Bowl. How are you feeling? It's right now. It's Kansas City -3 versus Tampa Brady. Take me through your Sunday. How confident were you going against the Bills? And then and let's talk about the game.
Well, you got to think last year when Kansas City was down 3 times in the playoffs, came all the way back.
Yeah.
I mean, they were down 9-0, and I was a little nervous sitting in my recliner watching the game, eating some chicken wings from Hy-Vee.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little scared, but then when it's like, okay, we have Mahomes. We have Kelsey.
Yeah.
Hill. We have all the weapons. Kansas City has all the weapons to beat them. So, but then it got a little chippy at the end with the little pass, Josh Allen hitting one of the Chiefs defensive guys, and it was a little chippy at the end, but you can't really go against Mahomes either.
No.
Just like you can't go against Tom Brady.
Well, one of them's going to have to lose.
One of them's
coming up soon. So
it's going to have to give.
Yeah. It's going to. So how do you feel about this game going into it?
It'll be fun. The Chiefs, we got to think when Brady played Mahomes, later this year, Brady was 27 for 41, 345 yards, 3 touchdowns. But the key thing in that game was he threw 2 picks. Mahomes was 37 of 49, 462 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. the key guy in that game, it wasn't just Mahomes. It was Tyreek.
Okay.
He had 13 receptions, 269 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So it was just, it's hard to cover the Chiefs' weapons and their, the Legion of Zoom. So
yeah,
pretty fast guys.
This is where I'm going to come in, and I'm champion these guys. I'm going to talk about the Gravediggers and these guys from Tampa Bay. These D-backs, they're young. They do not care. They give zero respect. They're not going to be out there saying that they're just happy to be here and soak it all in. They are there to wreck shop,
and that is true. That is completely true.
They're going to make mistakes. They're going to get burned for at least 1 touchdown. So if you look at the over/under, that's the way I looked at it for Aaron Rodgers. I know he's going to get 2. So the bet was over under 2.5 touchdown passes for Aaron Rodgers. I said I know he's going to get 2. I know for a fact. I think they'll get him for another one. I don't know if they burn one of the Gravediggers or what, but so the bets I thought for sure was over, and he had 3 touchdowns. So that being said, also with Patrick Mahomes, I feel just as confident as that I think the over under at 2.5. I said this on Monday, I said it on Tuesday, and I'm saying it again on Thursday. I will probably flip-flop 17 different times. But right now, I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Which, you can't
They've
go
got weapons just as well. I like their defense better. Not to say it's a great defense, but now they're just a little bit healthier. You've got Sue on the defensive line.
That Winfield's a beast from Minnesota. He is just a beast.
We got to make sure he's healthy or whatever. But they've got that linebacker, White, and I like. There's all these intangibles that you do this, And Reed playing with house money right now. He doesn't. I mean, of course he wants to win back to back, but he's finally got that monkey off his back by winning the Super Bowl. So it's like, and you saw that with the Chad Henne thing, where he's just like, I don't care. I'm just going to have him run for it and 4th down. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it.
I listened to the post game, and they said every Saturday night before a game, all the quarterbacks get together, say, hey, what 4th down play looks good, and they picked that one, and of course they ran it twice, once against the Browns, once against the Bills, and it worked both times. So they like that little, almost a wide receiver or halfback screen basically, and just go out, cut, boom, 1st down.
As we keep going through this, and we had Jimmy on Tuesday, and how did you become a Chiefs fan?
One of my buddies, I've since probably elementary school going into junior high. He was a big Chiefs fan, and I didn't really follow anybody until kind of that time, and kind of got introduced to that, and just been a fan ever since.
But that doesn't roll over to like the Kansas City Royals or anything, does it?
No, I've been a Cardinals fan since I was 3. So it doesn't. I've been to 2 Royals games, which was very, very fun. That was a blast. And got a tour, and I got a tour of Arrowhead. So that was really awesome.
You got a tour of Arrowhead?
Yep, they have tours. It was like $20. Okay. So me and my buddy, we went down there and did a whole weekend. Saw 2 Royals games. Went to the College Basketball Hall of Fame. Of course, ate some Kansas City barbecue, and got a tour of Arrowhead. So it was a pretty good weekend.
It's not a town on my list. I just don't. I don't know what it is. It's nice enough. I like it. It even sounds nice. It's like, oh, Kansas City. Yeah, I'd like to visit. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to visit that place. I don't know what it is.
It's okay. Yeah, it's not for everybody.
No, it's nice enough. I wouldn't. If someone's like, hey, we're gonna go on a trip to Kansas City, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not going there. But I'd be like, okay, whatever. I wouldn't. It's not like something a destination. If I say like, hey,
no, not
kids,
at all.
You want to go to Worlds of Fun in Kansas City? And like, no, it's not gonna come out of my mouth. But I will. I probably would go. Well, I know I would. I have before. I've gone down to Kaufman to see the Twins play the Royals there. Whatever.
That's a fun stadium,
and I'm sure Arrowhead's great too. I've never been into an NFL game before, so I don't know. Oh no, that's not true. I've been to Lambeau, but that was a lot of fun. But I've never been like Soldier Field or into Arrowhead or any other place. So I'm sure it's crazy.
I've been to 2 NFL games. First NFL game was in St. Louis when the Rams were still there, and it was Vic, his first game back as an Eagle. And he just destroyed the crap out of him. And then I saw the Chiefs play in Indy at Lucas Oil, and that was my first Chiefs game. So I haven't been to Arrowhead yet for a game.
See, I've been to Lucas Oil for the Big Ten championship game, Iowa versus Michigan State. I've been in Soldier Field for Iowa versus Northern Illinois, but again, like I said, not for an NFL game. So
it's a fun experience.
Yeah.
For those who need to go to
well,
an NFL
I tell you
game.
what, I saw Lambeau was fantastic. How was that? I mean, that was an overwhelming experience to be there in that crowd, and it was a Thursday night game, and it was a lot of fun. So what are your plans for the Super Bowl?
Probably most likely working till about noon, and then going home and watch it. I have really not much any plans.
Yeah. We've talked about this, Coral. Are you big into like the commercials?
I like them.
I do too.
Which reminds me, I saw a article the other day about how Budweiser will not be buying a commercial for Budweiser. However, they will be buying commercials. They already have bought the commercials for Michelob Ultra Seltzer, the Bud Light Lemonade, or Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade and Bud Light Seltzer, which, back when I was at 7G, I was like, wait a second. I'm like, I know they're already doing Super Bowl commercials. What do you mean they're not going to buy commercials? And then I realized, they're just not buying them for Budweiser.
Yeah.
But then what? Pepsi and Coke aren't buying commercials?
I don't think so. That's the first time in probably since the Super Bowl.
Well,
since
I know
it started.
I know it's 30-some years since the Budweiser has not bought something.
Yeah.
But and you can look it up. I think they're donating money for something.
They are. They're donating it to COVID relief.
Which is smart. I mean,
and
that's
vaccinations and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know.
Pepsi, what I always been hearing was, since Pepsi is out of Syracuse, New York, they pay close to $1 million for the 30 seconds for a commercial.
Yeah.
Each year, or maybe even more.
It's $5.6 million for 30 seconds this year.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That went up.
Well, the thing is, though...
And Pepsi sponsors the Super Bowl.
But we talked about
they
this,
sponsor the halftime show as well.
It should be, though, like...
It's State Farm this year, isn't it?
But the thing is that this is the one year that I think you actually should invest in the commercials. Because there's going to be more people watching people will just be... There's going to be more people watching than being in large groups. Do you remember what we said? Because and they even said that because there won't be like a house party where the annoying person like me is still talking during the commercials. You'll be able to you'll be either watching it probably by yourself in a small intimate group of friends.
Yeah.
Or you'll be at a bar. It's not
Easer
gonna
A
be...
said Pepsi is doing the same thing as Bud. They're still promoting like Mountain Dew, just not Pepsi. Okay. So they're doing other PepsiCo products.
Correct.
I don't know. I think it's all for show, if you're going to ask me. That's my reckless speculation of the day.
What do you mean?
I think it's all just for
because
optics.
They're still doing ads for part of their company.
Optics.
Yeah, it's for their company, but it's just not the flagship brand of your company.
Like Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch is still spending probably $20 million in commercials. Okay, so they're going to spare the $10 million.
I'm with you.
I think it's just optics, in my opinion, and you can disagree with me in the comments or whatever whatever you want to do, but I think it's just for optics, and that's not just for Anheuser-Busch. I think that's also for Pepsi and Coke and whatever. Yep. It's just whatever. It's just like when everyone wanted to hop on the BLM train this summer, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't know. We talked a little bit to Jake in the first hour. I do love prop bets. I'm sorry. And he's right. The one thing I know about Elite Sportsbook is they pretty much, from jump, have been like, we're never going to get too gimmicky. Whereas William Hill, they'll put out, I think it's something ridiculous, like almost 600 prop bets last year.
We looked at him last year as well.
We'll look at prop bets again. I always care about the
national anthem.
I care about the national anthem.
Coin flip.
And I care about the coin flip. I bet tails
every time. Are there
every
any
time.
other ones
Tails
that
never
you're
fails.
looking forward to, though?
No, I do not like the Gatorade one at all. It doesn't make because sometimes like the odds on like the one that's more profitable is usually like blue, and then you have someone that's like, I swear there was a hint of blue in that green, that lemon lime Gatorade, like whatever.
God.
I would assume you would think that the Chiefs would be in red. Would Tampa Bay's be red as also?
Well, and it's the NFC, so wouldn't they be they're the home team because of their stadium? So because Miami was the Chiefs wore their away white jerseys.
I think
it was red. Sorry, I think it was red.
Well, that's another thing. Does the team get to request what type of Gatorade there is?
I don't know, to be honest.
That's some insider trading stuff.
That's some
Brad
good info.
Hines
Somebody
says
can
the
find
Chiefs
that out
are red
there.
and Tampa is white.
That's what they're wearing?
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm just saying, like, who
Okay.
gets to decide?
Oh.
Like, do you get to decide, like, our team really enjoys grape fierce Gatorade. And that's what we want.
Freaking love grape.
Grape's good.
You know? That's what I'm saying. So,
And
like,
the light blue.
Ooh, the light
Arctic
blue's good.
Frost or whatever.
Yeah, the
heck.
frosted one's really good.
and there's always going to be different prop bets out there that something's new or whatever else, and you'll have, like, longest touchdown run versus, the over-under, longest touchdown run versus, like, if LeBron James is playing that day, who's going to, what's going to be more, how many points he has, or the over longest
who throws
touchdown.
the first touchdown pass?
Yeah.
Who gets the first rushing touchdown? Even if
But-
there's a field goal, how long is it? How long's the field goal? How many yards?
Ooh, I like that one, too.
We were discussing that last year. That one was our tough one.
Yeah. And there's, like, will there be a defensive touchdown? You just got to look for the ones that pay out the best. But we have time we'll definitely be looking at those coming up. It's always tails. I always bet tails.
Tails never fails.
Really?
Yeah.
I like tails as well.
Not that it's really, I don't know if it's true or not or
It makes
anything.
sense if they do the flip.
Yeah, it's got to hit the ground, not to call it in the air.
Oh.
And then they do it, yeah.
Well, I don't know anything.
I don't think they do that.
That's what I do.
Yeah, well, they don't. They
The
let,
old
they
school.
Let it hit the ground. They let it hit the ground. But the reason I do it is because, and again, I don't know if historically this is accurate or not, but do you remember the movie La Bamba?
No.
Mm-hmm.
You don't?
I remember it.
You never saw La Bamba? Richie Valens? Well, anyway,
You act surprised.
I know. I shouldn't be. Actually, that anniversary's coming up. He, in the movie, he calls heads. And
Well,
then he says
the
that's-
head side is heavier.
And he says it's the first coin flip I ever won in my life. And then he got the seat on the plane that actually went down. And so ever since that.
Way to spoil it for me,
Yeah,
Jay.
sorry.
Jeez.
Wah, wah, wah.
Ever since like 1987, I've just decided that I was just going to call tails for everything.
Well, that's before I was born, so.
No. But no, there's going to be all kinds of prop bets and.
My daily
lot of
reminder
fun.
to Jay that I'm 20 years younger than him.
I know. You're just such an old soul. I forget so much.
I'm in the middle.
I feel so. I don't know. I'm just
I'm
saying.
in the I'm in the middle.
I just feel so like childish all the time that I'm like, oh, I forget that everyone's not.
Jay, you and I are
Eddie,
big
get
kids.
outta
It's
here.
okay.
What?
You and I are big kids. It's okay.
Yeah. So
Eddie says, is Coral 18 or 19? Get out of here.
With or without wig.
God.
all right, we got to take a break here. ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle so local. We'll be right back.
I've been earning and burning, snapping necks and catching.
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Turk Wendell, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local.
Celebrate the 55th edition of the big game with exclusive 55-1 odds on FanDuel Sportsbook. And if you've never tried FanDuel before, new users can bet on either team to get 55-1 odds when Tampa Bay plays Kansas City. That's right. You can bet $5 and win $275 if you pick the winner of the big game on February 7th. My money's on the Chiefs. 2 years in a row, baby. I've been betting football on FanDuel all season long. Ease of use. Easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet. Fast withdrawals when you win. FanDuel pays your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use promo code Trevor to get started. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code Trevor. Must be 21 plus and present in Iowa. New users only. Must wager on designated boost market. Deposit required. Max bonus $275. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The capital gets its name. More from the Iowa Almanac in a moment.
I'm Michael Swanger, owner and publisher of Iowa History Journal. Now is the time to subscribe to Iowa History Journal, as you won't want to miss the incredible stories we have planned for 2021. They are the kind of stories that you won't read in other magazines. As we begin our 13th year of publishing Iowa History Journal, we remind Iowans that many of our back issues are also available. Get your copy of our January-February issue at Hy-Vee and Fairway, or visit iowahistoryjournal.com and order it today.
We all know Des Moines as Iowa's largest city and the state capital, but its beginnings were far more humble. Back in May of 1843, Captain James Allen supervised the construction of a fort where the Des Moines and Raccoon Rivers merge. Captain Allen wanted to call it Fort Raccoon, but the U.S. War Department overruled him and declared the structure to be known as Fort Des Moines. In May of 1851, much of the town surrounding the fort was destroyed by floods. The devastation was complete, allowing in essence a clean slate on which a new city could be built. That city was incorporated in the fall of 1851 as Fort Des Moines. At that time, there were only 3,500 residents living in about 500 dwellings. The state capital moved from Iowa City to Des Moines by declaration of Governor James Grimes in 1857. Notice I said moved to Des Moines. That's because shortly before the governor declared the city to be the state's capital, the name Fort Des Moines was shortened to simply Des Moines. Imagine if Captain James Allen had gotten his way when the original fort was built. Iowa's capital city might be known today as Raccoon, but it's not, and the city became known as Des Moines on this date in 1857. And that's Iowa Almanac for January 28th. Until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Stein.
SMS Group Incorporated is a world leader in maintenance services for the steel industry. They are now hiring at their facility in Muscatine. Jobs include machinist, CNC machinist programmer, quality inspector, and mechanic and millwright. SMS Group is proud to offer competitive benefits package for all eligible full-time employees, including health, dental, vision, life insurance, vacations, paid time off, 401k plans, and tuition reimbursement. Join their team today by applying at sms-group.us/careers or in person at their location just outside of Bluegrass.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Like, who was that, Greeny, who said the time to say about personal pride was weeks ago? I mean, I understand what he's saying. He's not wrong. It's fine, but I don't think it would have made a difference. Keyshawn saying they started Foles, but it's no. I disagree. The issue is one thing with Chicago. They have no offensive line, period. That's the whole problem. No offensive line. They have a thin receiving core, it's true, but no offensive line. If I had to design a football team, and I have like 10 spots where I can put all my resources, right? Where am I going to put all my resources? Like, what 10 spots do I want covered out of a roster of 50, right? I want a stud quarterback, of course, everyone does. My next 5 spots will be stud offensive linemen.
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy! Go long!
No, I can't!
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike 3.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
On your radio, on your phone, on Alexa. Hear and talk about baseball on your sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Don't Hassle for Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. Kyle's in the studio with Coral and I. T-Roy is on his way up to Wisconsin.
Yeah, he freaking ditched us.
To go for the indoor water parks and whatnot. So.
Hopefully he doesn't do the big splash in one of the little kiddie pools or something and scare little kids away.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be doing much of that. They'll just be letting Hazel run around. So we were talking off the air, Kyle and I, and kind of just this matchup in general. And I don't really think it's that bad of a matchup. It's a good one. I think Kansas.
What I wanted.
I think Kansas City has a good following, and I think they'll do fine across the board. And I think Tom Brady is polarizing, so I think the numbers for this should be pretty good. I would assume
ratings would be up there.
And I think it's one of those things about Tom Brady. People just either want to cheer for him or cheer against him. There's really no in between.
He's got six Super Bowls.
Yeah,
you can't really argue about that.
And the thing, and like you were saying about Mahomes, 25 years old, possibly having 2 Super Bowls at that age, being the youngest to have that. And Andy Reid is not as old as people think he is.
Very smart coach. Very smart.
And he could actually now, I know even when we talk to people in Kansas City and they're like, don't take Eric Bieniemy. He can be our next coach. How long does he want to stay to be an assistant there? Andy Reid could be there for another 10 years. And Patrick Mahomes is, like you said, he's still young. But the idea, what you're saying is that possibility that people taking pay cuts is beyond wishful thinking. Do you know what I'm saying? Because eventually someone wants to get paid to be the man. And it doesn't matter if you're the wide receiver or if you're a running back or, eventually it just happens. It's just human nature. They want to be, instead of, look at, you got where Brady's at now. Now we have this insanely amount of talk. It'd be like, is it Brady or was it Belichick? Do you know what I'm saying? People want to be recognized for what they're doing individually. It's just a dumb human nature thing. And Brady for years took those pay cuts to have weapons around until finally they just didn't give him any more weapons. And he said, look what I've done for you guys. I'm going to leave. So the whole idea, Kyle, is that it's just it's wishful thinking because it's tough to think that, hey, for the betterment of the franchise to keep winning titles, we're just going to take paycheck cuts.
Well, some guys, could take a pay cut just as, hey, we want to stay. We want to keep winning games. We want to keep winning rings. There's a lot of logic behind it, but then it's like, okay, if you want to be the man, like you were saying, look at Mahomes. That's why he got the biggest contract.
Mm-hmm. I'm just, that's where it is
wishful thinking. It is.
Yeah. It is right now. What we talked about was if Brady wins this one, that's 7. Mahomes still at 1, and that 6 seems so much bigger than 6-2. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The 6-2, you kind of say like, oh, okay, all right, 4 more in the 10-year span. Okay, I can see that.
Yep.
And then also you got Brady that's going to be like, all right, objects and mirrors are closer than they appear. But 7-1 just feels like the
that's
gap.
A wide
I don't
margin.
know why. It just 6-4.
Very wide
then you
margin.
have to make up 6 and roughly around anywhere from 10 to 15 years if he can play that long. And nothing's guaranteed in this league at all. Not one bit. One hit could he could lose a year just like Brady did when he against the Chiefs.
Yep.
So you just never really know, but. The kid Mahomes is something else. I don't know much about his foot, his turf toe. Do you?
They made a special shoe or special sole for his turf toe.
Okay.
And they showed it on CBS.
All right. So it's in the game that he was just played in. So probably now will that be taken care of in the next 10 days?
I don't know. I haven't heard or what the whole speculation on it yet.
Okay. And is any Kansas City, is there hurt in any other way? Is there anybody else they're missing?
Sammy Watkins was out.
Yeah, but Sammy Watkins has he been anything? Legitimately, outside of maybe someone you paid like $2,500 for in a DraftKings
not really
as a lottery pick.
I think he's a free agent for next year.
No, I'm just saying,
he's free agent list.
Yeah. Brad's saying Sammy and Bell both practiced
Le'Veon,
yesterday.
Yep. I heard that today, too.
Again, Le'Veon Bell. He's been okay. It's not anything like... Yeah, and Israel did point that out. That's right. They did lose their left tackle to an Achilles.
Yep.
And that's going to be a big deal.
That's a huge loss.
That's your blind side guy. So,
well, we'll see. We'll see what happens and see if a lot of people turn in for the game.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to continue to just flip and flop, hit here and there. But for right now, the thing is, I bet you in the 6 Super Bowls that Brady and what? So he's 6-2 all time, right? What is he? How many has he been in?
This is his 10th Super Bowl.
Don't ever listen to me when it comes to this, because I am always on the opposite side for Brady. I'm dead serious.
This is his 10th Super Bowl, and he's won 6 of them.
I'm always on the wrong side. I'm always on the wrong side of the Super Bowl when Brady's involved.
Why?
I don't know. I just have bad luck. I'm like, oh, they're going to win this time, and then they lose to like the Giants twice or whatever else, and flukes. And then other times I'm like, oh, there's no way they're going to win it. Yeah, 6-3. Thank you. And then I'm like, there's no way he's not going to win this time or whatever else. And then he wins.
My brain is telling me to go with the Bucks because the Chiefs aren't flying in until the day before.
That's the other one that's a big deal.
But my heart is saying the Chiefs because I just do not like.
What do you
Tom
think
Brady.
about that? Kyle, about flying in the day before, sticking with their COVID plan that they've been doing all year long?
That is the dumbest thing
I
ever
really
heard.
do not know. To be honest, I don't.
And they're, Brad Hines brings up a good point.
Mhm.
Their Chiefs are sleeping in their own bed for 2 weeks prior. However, they're flying in to a different area literally the day before they play the Super Bowl.
That's right.
I mean,
Superstitions? I don't know. I
Well, if
guess.
that's what they've been doing all year long, I mean,
just
obviously it's
didn't-
worked out for 'em.
Then stick to it then, I guess. Don't change it.
Yeah.
oh, they've been doing that all season. But
Yes,
I mean,
they've said they've been doing it all season. They're going to stick to the same COVID ways that they did it before.
Which is smart.
Yeah.
that's true. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't like it.
If it works for them, why change it?
And the whole Super Bowl thing is going to be completely different, like the Super Bowl media week, everything.
Yeah.
So obviously, you don't have access to the players like you did before.
Right.
I mean, before it was, you could apply for it. I think it's $2,000 to have a table there, to have internet access to a table.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when we looked into it, we needed access for two. One to run the Facebook Live, and then to just have the internet.
Oh.
So we're looking at $4,000 to do it, and then it's crazy. So we had the comedian on, Craig Gass, and he did it every year, and he said that you're just polling people all the time, and they have access to all these players, and now it's like all the stories are completely different, and it's got to be a different it's just like Emily said when she's down at Senior Bowl. She's like, it's usually a lot different than this, but
Mhm.
she also, instead of being overwhelming, now she gets to actually look and see what the players are doing and break it down a little bit more than
Which
she
can
could
definitely
before.
be an advantage.
Yeah, and so if you're a writer down there, you're not going to be able to see the Kansas City
Nope.
Chiefs till the day before, or how they're looking at practice or anything like that. So if you're a Kansas City beat writer, do you just stay in Kansas City and fly on the same day they do and just watch their practice?
Probably.
I mean, that's
Keep the
probably it.
keep the protocol the way it is and not mess with it.
All right, Brad.
Yeah.
Says, I know I'm a homer. Brad on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. I know I'm a homer, but Mahomes just has a killer instinct like Michael Jordan. Like a Michael Jordan type player, that the surroundings don't necessarily matter.
And you got to think of Mahomes' background, why he throws the way he throws, because he was baseball.
Yeah.
Till his sophomore year. Till sophomore year in high school. I mean, look at his dad. His dad played baseball for I don't know how many years.
Mhm.
And, Mahomes played shortstop. So you got to make that long throw from shortstop all the way to first. So the way he does his arm angles, like if you're trying to go for a ground ball, sometimes you have to backhand it or go on, or underneath it to second base for like a double play. He makes those, the way he throws it, it's just his baseball instincts.
Well, I've said it before, and I'm not going to ever stop saying it. That 11-step drop that he did in the Super Bowl last year and then completed the pass is one of the things that
crazy.
Rarely do I sit there and yell at a TV and scream, what did I just watch? And then grab my kids to rewind it and say, you need to watch this because someone needs to verify what I just saw.
11-step
and they're
drop.
like, why am I watching this? And I was like, because you're never going to see anything like this again. So, yeah, he's definitely talented. There's no doubt about it. But then there's Tom Terrific as well.
Yeah.
That's
They said they had the interview with Tom Brady, and he's with Bruce Arians, and Bruce Arians said, I'm allowing Tom Brady to coach him and coach the players, which I heard he didn't get to do that in New England.
No, God no.
Yeah, because he was
But he
under a
would tell
system.
him.
He was under a system by Belichick.
But he'll tell him.
Yeah, he'll tell him. Yeah.
No, he'll flat out tell him. He'll say, I do not trust this guy anymore. He did it to Philip Dorsett last year. He's like, during the Patriots, he said he was on the bench. He said, I no longer trust him anymore. I'm done with him.
Yep.
And he'll do it to a receiver if they don't do it. And
Oh,
there was
exactly.
something happen. I saw it last week.
Yeah, but I did
during the
too.
game, and I go, he's done. He's
Yep.
not going to throw to that guy
Nope.
anymore. But I mean, it's all part again. COVID and the system, and now are they, clicking the way they should have? When at first, I mean, the first couple weeks, you had times where Arians was throwing him under the bus, being like, he's got to get to know our offense.
Yep.
And then
I
you had
agree.
that time when they rushed for just 6 yards, and you're like, this is bad. And then, but look where they're at now. And we did the stats and 3 road victories. Now he gets to play at home, which is weird, but and
First time ever.
yeah. And so, I mean, he's, it's one of the few people that have done it, what he's done, and he's taken a team, a 5 seed, to the Super Bowl. And anytime you anytime you question him, he just comes through.
He's clutch.
But that's what makes this fun.
Exactly.
Because like you said, I mean, and Brad pointed out, Mahomes got a killer instinct too. He's got athleticism like through the roof, and Tom Brady's got the 199th pick. And we talked, Ezer A's called in the other day, and he's like, don't count him out. Look at what this guy's done. Doesn't mean I'm going to be on the bandwagon. I can appreciate greatness, and I have no problem with that.
I agree.
But no, he's not. I'm never going to be. I'm not going to rush out to buy a Tom Brady jersey.
Oh, never.
I will never.
Yeah, and nor like even a poster or a football card.
No.
Yeah, it's not up my thing. So.
No.
Yeah, and then and one more time before we take a break, Ezer A's pointed out when he called the other day too that that touchdown right before half, he went to Arians and said, "Hey, we got this. We're gonna go for it, and let me have the ball." So good for the coach for trusting him.
And they were playing like cover 1 or cover 2, and all he did just went right around him, just went right behind him.
That's
and
really bad. Yeah, Scotty Miller.
So. Yeah, I was like, wow, that was more momentum for Tom Brady going into halftime. Like, hey, we don't get the ball second half, but here, let's just get more points, and make the Packers at home come back.
Yeah, we were really confused by that.
I thought that was a smart call when you had they had 2 timeouts left or they had 2 timeouts left.
Mm-hmm.
And
really,
was it 3 or like 10 seconds? Yeah.
They need about 15 yards to get in field goal
range. And nope. Tom Brady's like, oh, let's just go.
Let's go up top. Well, it was definitely a dagger. All right, we're going to take a break here. ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us for local. We will be right back here in the Hassle Castle.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
You like that? You like that?
This is Rachel Alger with St. Ambrose University, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
The capital gets its name. More from the Iowa Almanac in a moment.
I'm Michael Swanger, owner and publisher of Iowa History Journal. Now is the time to subscribe to Iowa History Journal, as you won't want to miss the incredible stories we have planned for 2021. They are the kind of stories that you won't read in other magazines. As we begin our 13th year of publishing Iowa History Journal, we remind Iowans that many of our back issues are also available. Get your copy of our January-February issue at Hy-Vee and Fairway, or visit iowahistoryjournal.com and order it today.
We all know Des Moines as Iowa's largest city and the state capital, but its beginnings were far more humble. Back in May of 1843, Captain James Allen supervised the construction of a fort where the Des Moines and Raccoon Rivers merge. Captain Allen wanted to call it Fort Raccoon, but the U.S. War Department overruled him and declared the structure to be known as Fort Des Moines. In May of 1851, much of the town surrounding the fort was destroyed by floods. The devastation was complete, allowing in essence a clean slate on which a new city could be built. That city was incorporated in the fall of 1851 as Fort Des Moines. At that time, there were only 3,500 residents living in about 500 dwellings. The state capital moved from Iowa City to Des Moines by declaration of Governor James Grimes in 1857. Notice I said moved to Des Moines. That's because shortly before the governor declared the city to be the state's capital, the name Fort Des Moines was shortened to simply Des Moines. Imagine if Captain James Allen had gotten his way when the original fort was built. Iowa's capital city might be known today as Raccoon, but it's not, and the city became known as Des Moines on this date in 1857. And that's Iowa Almanac for January 28th. Until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Stein.
Hey, Quad Cities, it's Jaybird with Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Get your local sports talk 12 to 2 with me, T-Roy, Bomber, and Surge. Download the station app to listen to us anywhere, and like us on social media to join in the conversation. Plus, when you sign up to be an ESPN Insider, you'll get access to all of our great contests and everything that's going on at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. We are the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170.
I'm Ari Wolf with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Texans have a new head coach. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero report Houston has chosen longtime Ravens assistant David Culley to lead the team. The 65-year-old has 27 seasons of NFL coaching experience. Rappaport also reports Culley will keep Tim Kelly as the Texans' offense coordinator. Kelly has received praise from quarterback Deshaun Watson, who has reportedly expressed frustration with the Texans front office in recent weeks. Elsewhere, the Chiefs held their first practice for Super Bowl 55 Wednesday, and they had both Le'Veon Bell and Sammy Watkins back on a limited basis. Both players missed the AFC title game with injuries. Patrick Mahomes was able to participate in full despite a recent toe injury. The Bucs did not practice, but said receiver Antonio Brown and safety Antoine Winfield Jr. would have been out. Head coach Bruce Arians says both players will likely not practice at all this week after missing the NFC title game due to an injury. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Frank's Red Hot is the perfect blend of flavor and heat. That's why you can use an entire bottle to make buffalo chicken dip, the kind you might make for when you're watching the game at home. And maybe this year there's less people around to watch the game with. Yay! But that just means there's more dip, and it's all for you. Some of you may say, that's too much dip, but deep down in your heart of hearts, you know it isn't. So go ahead. Finish it. Frank's Red Hot don't judge. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Hindsight is 2020. 2020 was a brutal year with a lot we couldn't control. Pandemic, economy, unemployment. What can we control? Our job, our career. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
When sports news breaks and you're at work, you won't miss a moment. Download our free mobile app now. This is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Well, Brad, you did it.
You done it again.
On the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, you compared Mahomes to Michael Jordan, and which leads down this rabbit hole of people saying this. And I said, and Erickson on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment said, rational. He just compared Mahomes to Jordan, the best athlete this planet has ever seen. I said, Mahomes is not Jordan, but the greatest athlete ever? He said, yes, I'll wait.
I love Brad. Brad, you're awesome.
Well,
man. Hope you're doing all right.
I know he's doing. I know Jordan was the greatest athlete when in Space Jam, so I'll give him that. He's the greatest athlete to play in space. Now, do I think Jordan is the greatest athlete this planet has ever seen?
No, that's me.
I don't believe so.
Ta-da!
Now,
Duh.
in 1999, ESPN. Coral, you were 5.
4.
ESPN did a sports century, the greatest athlete of the century. Now, keep in mind, in 1950, they did something similar as well. Babe Ruth was voted number 1. Jesse Owens was voted number 2. I don't know who was 3. Somehow, Jordan jumped over them. They voted him sports century. The writers put Jordan as the greatest athlete of the century.
The century.
The century.
Wow.
Dang.
Now, he is very athletic. And he did play baseball, minor league. But I've seen Bo Jackson. I've seen Deion Sanders. Those are some athletes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I'm not taking anything away from Jordan at all. Trust me. I grew up in the Jordan era, and was there for all the NBA titles.
Yep.
As much as I was still at that time, I don't know. Luckily, if I was 5'4" or 5'5" at the time,
oh boy,
I was still growing or whatever. I was never playing basketball.
Yeah, now you're what, like 6'3"?
Nah, 5'7". I like to say 5'8", but it's a lie. Jim Thorpe was a great athlete. Absolutely, he gets to go on there. All right. So, it's all up to your own decision on what you think of the greatest athlete. Now, is Jordan up there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'll put him in top 10.
Yep.
Well, like we were saying the other day, like some of these athletes who were the absolute best in their day, can they stand up to how the games have changed now?
That's another thing, yeah. But like you have someone like Jim Thorpe, and he did this or whatever else, like the things he did, or Jesse Owens, like that's big. I won't put horses on my list ever. I'm still angry to this day, 22 years later, that they put Secretariat ahead of Walter Payton on that list. And so that's where I automatically believe your list is flawed when that happens. When you do something so ridiculous
Putting
like
a
that.
pony on the list.
But
Isn't that a movie?
is that it's
That's what I thought.
Yep.
I've watched it. I just
it's
couldn't remember
about
if
a
that's what
real
it was called.
horse. It's not like it's not
I
the
know
movie.
it
Okay.
is.
I thought you were thinking I'm taking a movie character now and put it in there now.
No,
Okay.
I was just like, isn't that a movie? And then I couldn't remember if it was actually called that. And
Yeah.
Sagittarius, yeah. Yeah, it's a movie.
I've seen it. I know it's a
His
real
name
horse.
and his name in the movie is it's Big Red, right?
I don't know.
Have you seen Secretary?
I've seen it, but
I
it's
think they
been
call
a-
him Red,
something like that,
But they
yeah.
couldn't name him that because of
No.
whatever else. So they had to. You have to log on horse names or whatever, which is, interesting. I don't know what I'd name a horse, but I'm sure it'd be something fun.
I was always obsessed. I used to clean out stables for my first job,
Mhm.
and I was obsessed with this horse named Captain.
Captain Oates.
Just Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's happening, Captain?
Yeah. It was just such a beautiful horse and well-tempered and easy to clean out their stall.
Well, if you're saying horses, I was raised around cattle, so I was getting drugged by a 1,400-pound steer, and you can't really stop that.
Yeah, I know. I think I would come up with a good horse name, but it's not. It'll take a while. Well, it's not that, because like I've told the story before, and I luckily enough got to come across this photo. Again, my mom kept the weirdest things. She has a framed photo of me running in my first Bix race that I did, but I ran under someone. I never run under my name in the Bix. I ran under fake names.
Really?
Can
Yeah.
you do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the first one I ran under my friend's dad's name because I was in the afternoon. It was a Friday, and we were drinking at the pool. And we were talking about the Bix race, and I was like, I can run a sub 60. And he's like, no, you can't. I'm like, yeah, I can. He's like, didn't train. I'm like, trust me, I can run a sub 60. So he said, I'll bet you a 12-pack that you can't run a sub 60. And I said, okay, well, I think you just made a bad bet. I'll bet you another 12-pack that you made a bad bet. I'll go down and sign up right now. And guess what? When you look it up under Gary Jennings, because it's going to be your name that I run under. I ran a sub 60.
No, you mean 24
So
pack.
I've run as Joey Cupcake, Tom Gator Toes, Cordy Liquor. Yeah.
Dang.
These are just all made up names.
I just used mine and I ran it twice. One year I didn't train for either one of them. Ran an hour and 30, and then the next year ran an hour and 20, and still did the slip and slide.
No, I was just wanting to run sub 60s, and I did one after my knee surgery too. I just wanted to make sure. But back to it, I do like some of the comments here on the Harrington's Pub Facebook kind of said that Jonathan Brandis in Ladybugs is the greatest female soccer player ever.
No, Air Bud is the greatest athlete ever.
Yeah, those are good movies.
But
I
yeah.
like those.
Kyle?
Yes. Yes, Jay.
Do you have any predictions for the Royal Rumble?
I've been kind of keeping up with it, and
oh, really?
You got to throw.
I didn't think I was going to stumble into this. I thought I was going to have the same conversation
you
with
gotta-
Coral.
Hey, now.
That was pretty funny earlier.
Get out
but
of
anyway,
town.
what about Seth Rollins?
Okay.
If you're gonna throw his name in there, because isn't he trying to come back since having his first child? And you said Becky Lynch earlier, so I'm like, okay, that's
an
another
interesting one, because I think that's a way to propel her back into the main event scene right away. So
but what
I do
Hall
like
of
that
Fame
better.
Hall of Fame guys do you throw in?
Oh, I'm excited for that. I'm definitely going to look up to who's going to come in and who's going to be the surprise entrance. I mean, Edge is going to be one of them.
Yep, I watched Monday Night Raw. They said Edge is going to be
Okay, so they've agreed to that.
Yep. And then you got to think, is Brock gonna?
Brock is going to be in it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan's a sleeper. I agree with the sleeper. It was
the whole thing that he brought up on like an interview, like in one of his promos, that he's never won the Royal Rumble, so that's like on his list. So that's kind of one of the things. Yeah.
You just got a lot of guys that you could kind of throw in there, but how many guys have done, the Royal Rumble and competed for like a title match?
Is there anyone? I'm just thinking if there anyone that they can bring up. Like if they brought up from NXT Finn Balor, would that be a big pop? But there's no crowd.
No.
So the pop thing isn't really that big of a deal anymore.
because they do bring a lot of NXT guys.
Brad's saying Brock will win the Rumble. If that happens, I will throw my remote control at the TV. A couple things. One, I just don't get the whole Brock Lesnar thing. I think he's a beast, and I enjoy everything about him. But I just don't get it why we always have to, why the WWE always has to rely on him. So, a quick story about Brock Lesnar. 2 years ago, will be 2 years ago this coming February, March. I was at the Big Ten Wrestling Tournament in Minneapolis, okay?
Which is where he wrestled at?
Yes, where he was a national champion at, yes. And then so they kind of in this, they call it the barn, but they kind of did these makeshifts like suites things. I'm not in one, but I'm off to the side and I see a lady and I'm like, that is not a normal lady that I see every day in the Twin Cities. And
yeah,
gorgeous.
Don't let your wife hear that.
And like, oh my goodness. And then I look even closer and I'm like, wait a minute, how do I know her? And then I see her mountain of a man husband come by and I'm like, oh my God, that's Sable. And that's Brock Lesnar.
That's awesome.
And they're really not that far away from me, okay? So, and again, I'm not in the suite, but I mean, I can see him. And it was cool as can be, but I like started having like imaginary conversations in my head. Like he was, you could see that he obviously had a dip in and he was chewing and I just imagine.
How would you talk to him? Because everybody thinks, is he an a-hole?
No, I didn't talk to him.
Or if he's not.
I just assume that Sable like tells him things like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that because kids are watching you and they look up to you. And he's like, leave me alone, Sable. I'm with my friends. So like, he gets all mad at her. That's what I think about it. Or like, then the kids would run up or whatever else and he'd talk to him. And I feel like they're like, hey, Dad, can I get a Pepsi? He's like, I just gave you money for Dippin' Dots. Jesus. I just wonder if he has like the same conversations that we have and everything. So,
oh, boy.
You don't have the random things like that?
No.
No? Okay. So I do like where your head's at for some of the Royal Rumble.
Here's a name that's been doing a lot of commercials lately. John Cena.
Oh God!
Would they throw his name back in the Rumble?
You know what's an interesting one?
What?
Does The Rock make some type of appearance? Because they're starting a show, a new show, by the way.
It could be. Yeah,
what's the show? Life of Rock or Being Rock or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
The Rock has been doing a lot of like commercials and stuff lately.
I don't know, because that'd be interesting. But then you got to think, his bloodline, having him fighting Roman Reigns, which was talk at WrestleMania. But don't know if that's gonna stir the viewers away or bring them closer into it.
But I think Brad can actually say that here in just about Facebook commenter. I think there's wide speculation that the whole WrestleMania thing is going to be Roman versus Goldberg because they never got their match because of I think he had COVID or this cancer came back, one of the two. So,
or they got Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre for the title.
I don't know. By the way,
at the Rumble,
you go back 20 years.
Oh, Goldberg.
No, for me, and I was never big on Goldberg, so I'm completely out on that guy. I don't buy him one bit. So
okay, Easy Rays.
What does Easy Rays say?
With the sale of WWE to Peacock, I think Jerry Seinfeld will win it.
Yeah, I'm excited about the sale to Peacock. By the way,
are you really?
Yeah, because now I don't have to pay extra to get the streaming service, watch AP Bio, and Saved by the Bell, the new series.
Oh,
you already subscribed to Peacock?
I already subscribed to WWE Network. Now I just had to get a double down. I have yet to subscribe to Peacock. I just got to watch one episode. So
we'll see. Peacock apparently has Harry Potter movies on it.
I don't know.
So I was thinking about getting it, but I didn't know enough about it, and now I'm hearing everything about it ever since I looked it up.
And then what else? You know what else bothers me though?
What?
Is that our TV in the middle at Pints, the one that I have set up already for being a smart TV for my WWE Network, is the one that's blown out. So we can't. I don't know how I'm going to show the Royal Rumble at Pints. These are problems.
You better get on that. Yeah, new TV or somebody.
Come on, Jay.
I know. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread for bringing up stuff and talking about
they're pretty lively today.
Yeah,
I liked it.
That's good. Kyle, thank you so much for coming in and talking about your Chiefs. It's always a fun time, and I always like to have fans of the team that's coming in, not just Bomber telling me, well, they're just going to win because I told you so. It's good that you brought that table. Coral, good job by you.
Always good job by Coral.
Always.
Always.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves, Quad City. Stay safe and sanitize.
Hasta la vista.